What do you think of when you hear the two words Cleveland Browns? Even if you're not a sports fan, you probably know that they're losers and they are not good and they're a joke. I'm a fan of the Cleveland Browns. I've been watching them my whole life, and I can tell you that they're not good, and I can reassure you. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the reasons that they have been bad, and they have been bad for multiple years. Some of these reasons are bad coaching, bad drafting, and a culture of losing and crazy accidents happening to the team that people just can't get through. Starting off, we're going with bad coaching. And the worst coach of all was Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson had a 1-31 record over 2 years. 1 win in 2 years. And he himself said, "I failed tremendously," in the Sports Illustrated article written by Greg Bishop. I watched every game these 2 years, and they were extremely bad. They were in games, they never finished, they were not well coached, and this led to this horrible record by Hugh Jackson. And you may say the Browns have not always been bad, and they've had some good coaches. They haven't. They've had 2 winning seasons since 1999. You can find this on the Cleveland Browns website. They've made 1 playoff game since 1999. You can find it in the same place. You might think coaches don't play. They don't. So sometimes you don't have good players, but the coaches can generally make these players good, but that's not always the case. So the next subject is the bad drafting of players. The Browns had an ELO rating of 1,300 when they came back to the NFL in 1999. The average is 1,500. Every expansion team starts at 1,300. Over the 20 years following, the Cleveland Browns ELO rating has gone up 2 points. And this article is called "Brown's Suckiness Defies Math and Reason," Neil Payne. This is crazy. Like, how does that even happen? So they've stayed bad because of the bad drafting of players. In this article, he talks about how the Browns have always had consistently high picks from bad records the previous year and have consistently picked bad players, leading to more high picks. So it just like the Browns have every chance to get better, they can't get better. That's basically how these bad draft picks have led to the Cleveland Browns consistently being bad. So on to the next subject of the freak injuries and the bad perception of the Browns. Terry Pluto in the book The Browns Blues talks about a player named Kellen Winslow Jr. He was the son of Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow. They both played the same position, and he had a lot of potential, so much potential, the Browns used their highest pick in the draft to take Kellen Winslow Jr. Week 2 of that season, Kellen Winslow Jr. tore his ACL, was done for the season. In the 4 seasons following that, Kellen Winslow Jr. had reoccurring knee injuries and a staph infection. That leads to the bad perception surrounding the Browns. People always think the Browns can't get good. Their players have bad luck. This is true when looking at this. This is not the only case of something like this happening, but it's a very good reason, and it leads me to how Andrew Linden wrote the journal, The Cleveland Browns and the Culture of Losing. The Cleveland Browns are surrounded by a culture of losing. This culture of losing is basically what has led fans to expect. Losing it leads to even the outside life from football. This culture of losing is toxic, and basically these fans give it back to the Browns, and it's just a revolving cycle. Everyone's depressed, so it's craziness. So in conclusion, the Cleveland Browns are a consistently bad team, but they have reasons behind being consistently bad, like bad drafting, bad coaching, and just a bad perception of the team. But that perception is getting better because the Browns are 4-1, and we're looking pretty good right now in this current situation. So go Browns.